Hi everyone, and welcome to today's Greenstone webinar on streamlining ESG data collection for frameworks and standards reporting. I'm David Wynn. I'm the Chief Product Officer at Greenstone, and I'm going to be taking you through today's 30-minute webinar where we're going to be looking at the alphabet soup of ESG reporting, the landscape out there, and all the different frameworks and standards. We'll be touching on the importance of materiality to help figure out and define which frameworks and standards might be most appropriate for your organizations. And then we'll be getting into some practical thinking about how to streamline data collection and improve the efficiency of reporting, what to think about with different frameworks and standards, and then how technology can help with that as well. So welcome to the session. Please do feel free to send questions through. So using the poll, the question box on the right-hand side, send questions through. We will be covering a lot of content in today's 30-minute sessions, but happy to follow up with questions and send additional resources through as part of the webinar follow-up today. So for those who may not be as familiar with Greenstone, we are an ESG and sustainability software company. We've been around about 15, 16 years, providing ESG software to organizations, companies, investors to help them manage all of their sustainability reporting. So I'm sure many of you on the call, hopefully most people on the call, who have a large audience today, are familiar with ESG. But just as a very high level, when we talk about ESG, we're talking about environmental, social, and governance metrics. So a few examples here are some of the common data points that a company might be thinking about within ESG. And the frameworks and standards out there will prioritize or steer companies on how to report within these different areas, and also what to report as well within these different areas. So just to kick things off, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the key trends that we're seeing in sustainability reporting. It's a very dynamic, busy space, and I'm sure anybody that's working in this space knows how fast things are moving. And one of the key things that within that is the convergence of a lot of frameworks and standards, which is great because that is helping to consolidate and streamline what companies need to think about when it comes to reporting, and also for what stakeholders need to consume as well. So we'll touch on some of that today. There's also been this real increase in terms of the importance of risk, particularly with climate change risk, TCFD and climate change risk reporting, and on the flip side, the opportunities of that as well for organizations. We continue to see great momentum in the adoption of science-based targets and net zero commitments for organizations. And that really goes hand in hand with the focus that a lot of companies are putting on Scope 3 reporting as well. And so wanting to understand the regulatory requirements around Scope 3, and then how different frameworks and standards can help enable them to do that reporting. And we also mustn't forget about the S&G components of this as well. So climate and greenhouse gas emissions reporting can often dominate the conversation around ESG, but social metrics, diversity and inclusion, as an example, have become super important for companies to think about and understand, what standards and frameworks they might be leveraging to help with their reporting.